All right. Thank you so much for joining. Uh, my name is Femi Adekoya, and call me the Flying Father. Of course, I am flying. Yeah, I'm actually the vision leader of Shopfit Academy, and this particular webinar is actually discussing on drone industry exposition brought to you by Shopfit Academy in collaboration with Industry Exposition. Uh, and today we are having a nice time, and we have a special guest with us. That's Kumar, all the way from India. Uh, I'm going to introduce Ram more better later in our conversation today. So I'm very excited that we have you on board as a meeting to us. Yeah, drone technology is actually across making wave is actually one of the fourth industrial revolution. Uh, it's great impact, something flying, monitoring data collection, agricultural, solutions. And Ram is going to explain to us today about how drone technology is revolutionizing the Indian landscape, be it agriculture or whatever cardinal sector that they're focused on. But before then, let me quickly introduce the Shopfit Academy, which actually bringing us together this evening my time. And by the way, around is actually uh, about 9 p.m. time right now, and I want to say thank you to for actually availing us to engage with our. So who are we at Shopfit Academy? Yeah, straightforward. Our vision is to actually create a world where every young person, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to become a tech-savvy farmer or agricultural professional, driving sustainable and equitable growth in their community through transformative power of technology. Now, how do we deliver on this vision? The mission is to raise the next generation of farmers, tech and design savvy. So we are actually social enterprise. We are training and we're building capacity of young professionals with modern and emerging technology for the future of work and to lead the precision agriculture. And what are methodology? We have three cardinal methodologies in education and knowledge sharing, one of which is what we're doing presently, webinar where we share knowledge and expose ourselves to industry update ourselves, training and skill development, coaching and mentorship. And we have some interesting technologies that we are actually trying to find. One of which is drone technology that focus today. Geographic information systems and science and agriculture, robotics, and artificial intelligence and machine learning, enterprise development, which is artificial. Now, why do we do what we do? And I mean, what's our motivation? We know that there is a chief young professionals like you joining us need to build skills, technical and enterprise skills for future work in agriculture and related fields. We know that observing the trend is never enough. You as a youth need to actually become an enabler and player, perhaps influencer of the fourth agricultural revolution. And not just a mere observer or you trying to observe the trend. Oh, now it is totally AI. Oh, now it is this application. Now it's this, but you must be actually an enabler, an influencer, or a player. The technology is key to unlock African agricultural potential. And this is why we are actually doing all of this that we're doing. So why should you join in? Why should you join this stream? You need to join because we are creating a future where that we want in agriculture. A future where we can be able to leverage on tech, an agriculture that is actually not only attractive, but stable, sustainable, and it is decent. We connect you with the information and the world of opportunity, scholarship, internship opportunities that we are there, volunteership, local and international for your so skill development through project collaboration, community interaction, workshop, access to coaching and mentorship from various industry leaders and professionals like Rams, Kumar with actually with us today. Now, yeah, at Creation Field Academy, what we say is that we are building a community of young tech designers and professionals. So thank you so much for listening to us, and we're excited to actually have every one of you joining us today. And I believe that we're going to be having an interesting, a fair time with Ramkuma explaining to us on the topic that we have at hand. We want to actually understand what is going on in the Indian drone industry, or with drone industry in India. What can we learn or from their experience over there, or personally as it can relate to us? We want to actually know what's the driver of this transformation in drone technology. What are they doing with drone technology? What is his work particularly with a company called Garuda Aerospace, which has been doing amazingly well in the drone industry in India. So Ram Kumar, you're welcome on board with us. Again, Ram Kumar is actually the Vice President of Agri Operations and Government Affairs at Garuda Aerospace Private Limited. So thank you so much as we welcome. So you can share your screen. The fourth right. And this first on second.
So first of all, I wanted to thank Femi for giving us a wonderful opportunity to showcase like what drones in India and what drones can help the other countries develop their own domain and help farmers in multiple ways. I've been following the Flying Farmer. They're doing a wonderful job and creating a huge impact and helping farmers with varieties of drones. So here we are from Garuda Aerospace. The first slide itself shows how we are into drones and how our Prime Minister has launched our drone Yatra, where we are serving 750 clients in 84 cities, and which includes 400 government departments, 200 multinational companies, 150 smart cities, PSUs, and 100 million farmers. So I wanted to explain more about the drones, like what we are developing. We actually have 30 different types of drones with us. Each drone is capable of doing multiple operations. So before going to the drones and the types, I just wanted to explain in detail about the drone rules in India. So yes, I'm just shifting to this slide. So yes, this is actually the drone rules 2021. I'm not able to present it one. I mean, can you display this on the screen?
Okay, this.
Yes, thank you. So coming to the English slide. Yes. Femi, hope my screen is visible. These are the draft 2021 where we follow all these things so that we make up a policy here so that everyone can adapt it. I don't see many countries have their own rules for drones. Here in India, we have 55 laws for the drones. So the first thing is the preliminary, where this last states like to whom all this drone laws is applicable. For example, any person who's like engaging in or leasing or operating or transferring or maintaining an unmanned aircraft system, all unmanned aircraft systems that are registered in India, all unmanned aircraft systems that are being operated for time being in India. So these rules will be applicable for everyone like who operates or lease or rents or like the drones that are registered. And we have a main class to see here. If you take to the point 3, these rules will not be applicable to the Navy, military, and the Air Force of Union of India. So, and again, and if you take the part 2, this is very important. There we have classified unmanned aircraft into two different parts. One is the categorization. The categorization basically is an aeroplane, rotorcraft, and hybrid. And again, these three are subcategorized into remotely piloted aircraft system, model remotely piloted aircraft system, and autonomous unmanned aircraft system. So the drones here in India, we classified it into 5 categories, which is called nano, micro, small, medium, and large. So nano category meaning any drones that is less than 250 grams will come into the nano category. So micro category meaning any drone that is more than 250 grams and less than 2 kg comes into the micro category. And this next category is the small category. Small category meaning any drone that is more than 2 kg and less than 25 kg. Our agriculture drone will basically fall into 2 categories. One is the small category, the other one is the medium category. Medium category meaning more than 25 kg and less than 150 kg. And next is the last category. The last category is the drone that comes above 150 kg. The next part is the certification. So the no person shall operate an unmanned aircraft system in India unless such unmanned aircraft system conforms to a type certification. So meaning here the drones in India should have a certification which is called type certification. Meaning the one who wants to do a commercial operation or wants to sell a drones should get an certificate called type certificate from the DGCA and QCI. So and the application and the procedures are like given in the 9 and 10 and 11 and such. And again, these rules will not be applicable for certain categories. One is the model remotely piloted aircraft system and an nano unmanned aircraft system. And the next part is most important thing is registration of an unmanned aircraft system. Basically, no person shall operate an unmanned aircraft system without first registering it on the digital sky. There's a specific website from the Government of India, which is run by the DGCA. Its website is called as Digital Sky. In the Digital Sky, you'll have the entire drone industry. So you can see like how many RPTOs we have, how many drones that are registered and as a UN, every details will be able to get it in the Digital Sky. So, and as I said, the registration is very much without registering with particular UN number, the drone is not allowed to fly in India. And again, if I wanted to sell a drone and I wanted to transfer my UI number of the drones to someone, I need to follow the rule by filling the form D3. And deregistration. Deregistration meaning if my drone is lost or it met with an accident, immediately I need to report in the digital sky and I have to do the deregistration. And the operations. So likewise, we have 55 laws. The next main part is about the remote pilot certificate, which is very mandatory in India. So if suppose someone wants to fly a drone which is more than 250 grams, the pilot who operates the drone should have a certificate called remote pilot certificate. This certificate will be issued by RPTO, the next class remote pilot training organization. So it's like an flying school where we train and we give them the certificate for them to fly. If they wanted to fly a medium category drone, then they should have a medium category certificate, or if they wanted to fly a small category drone, they need to have a small category certificate. And these certificate has a validity up to 10 years. And again, there are certain eligibility where if someone wants to get this remote pilot certificate, the candidate must be minimum 18 years of age and he or she should not be more than 65, and they should have compulsory minimum graduation of like 10th graduate. So likewise, we have insurance policy for here in drones. So, and again, the most important thing what we need to see is we have 5 different types of forms, which is called Form D1. As I said, if anyone wants to apply for type certification for a specific type of drones, then they need to fill this form, which is called Form D1. And next, we have a form called Form D2, which is for registration of an unique identification number. So every drone should have a number which is called unique identification number that they have to get it by filling the form D2 in the digital sky. The next form is form D3, which is for transfer or deregistration of an unmanned aircraft system. Then the next form will be the D4. D4 is the application for remote pilot license certificate, and the last is form D5, which is application for applying for RPTO, to open an RPTO. So these are the terms and conditions here the government follows strictly, and they made it mandatory, and this is how like we are learning out of it, and we are coming out of it. And I again wanted to show you one more important thing here. I'm just sharing my screen. Yes. So as I said, when we apply a type certificate, we get a certificate from the government of India for a specific model. This is our firm name, which is Garuda Aerospace Private Limited. We have got a type certificate. The model name is GAADM. So this certificate is issued for Garuda Aerospace, our address, and you can see the details about our drones here. Our drones for this model, it comes into medium category. Here you can see the weight of the drone, the dimension of the drones, the spraying tank liters of the drones, and what batteries are we using, the mAh of the batteries, the power ratings, and do we have the anti-collision avoidance like sensor based for obstacle and terrain following. And here we are using our own software which is called the Garuda Captain, and the endurance is also been calculated. The maximum range what we have got for this drone is 1.5 kilometers. The maximum speed we have got is 10 meter per second. All these are given by the government of India for our medium category drones by testing it with all this test certificates and live demonstration of it. And here I wanted to show you our RPTO. RPTO meaning Remote Pilot Training Organization. So if anyone wants to open an RPTO, they need to have minimum 2 instructors with them, and they need to have 2 drones with UIN and a place to operate for flying, and to have an indoor classrooms with certain limits. So this RPTO, what we got is for the small category, and now we are upgrading it to the medium category. So I'll show you one sample certificate how it looks. These remote pilot certificate can be downloaded under digital sky platform by logging into one. I've got like 2 licenses here certificate. One is for the small category and the other one is for the medium category. This is my flying license where I am eligible to fly small and medium category now. So coming back to the Prime Minister launch of Garuda Kisan drones, where he has posted in his own. So this is all about the Prime Minister launching it. Also wanted to show, yes. After coming back to the roles, here specifically for agriculture drones, government has come with a specific like SOP for agriculture drones for 10 different crops. Like they have tested multiple times and they're given this SOP where what height the drone has to fly for rice or cotton or maize or groundnut, sunflower, whatever the crop is, they have done the testing and they're given this SOP to follow strictly. So this is helping us in developing and helping farmers with their own. These are the guidelines. This is basic like where to fly, when not to fly, like how to fly. So again, coming back to the subsidy. So subsidy of the drones, meaning here government uh, has many schemes. One is like they're giving grant of 100% up to 10 lakh rupees for all these ICR institutions, Krishi Vigyan Kendra, and for FMTTIs and agriculture universities. And the next category gets 50% of the basic cost of the loan, or up to 5 lakh they're getting subsidy. So this is applicable to the farmers of ST categories, and the next category is like they get 75%, which is applicable to all these FPOs, FPCs. And the loan option. Here in India, we have an option to buy drone via loan. So Garuda Aerospace was the first company to get drone for loan with our honorable agriculture minister. So this scheme now we are helping to reach all the farmers who wants to buy the drone through this option. And very recently, last week, Prime Minister has announced and one more very big scheme which called Drone DD, wherein we are gonna give 15,000 drones to 15,000 women self-help groups, where they get 80% of the grant up to 8 lakh rupees. So this scheme is gonna like take it to the next level where all the village women self-help groups are gonna get the drones, they're going to learn the drones, and they're going to operate the drones. So this is going to be the green revolution here, and everyone is adapting to it. And this is the present situation in India where the government is doing this Bharat Sankalp Yatra, where we are covering all the states in India and doing these demonstrations. It is actually like a festival that is happening every village in every grama panchayat. So the ultimate goal is like everywhere we take these drones, we present to them and we demonstrate to them. So here you can see our Honorable Minister Anurag Thakurji, who is the Minister for Information and Broadcasting, and also the Sports Minister. Everywhere, every day, all the ministers are going and they are like participating in this event and they're promoting government schemes. So, and this is the last like which we are doing for last 4 5 years. Here in India, we have a specific like in institution called Krishi Vigyan Kendra. It is a research institute where in all the districts we have minimum 1 KVKs. What we have done from Garuda is we used to go there, we used to present to them, and we used to demonstrate them. And there are the research bodies where they take inputs from them, from us, and they promote it to the farmers. So these KVKs are it's a larger group in India where they easily take the new technology to the farmers. So Garuda has traveled to all the villages in India. So this is how like we are learning and we are improving and we are taking it to the next level. So yes, for me, I think I've done with my presentation. Yes, for me. Hope like
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ram. That was actually a wonderful presentation. And I mean, I have quite a number of
I'll
questions.
show you one slide, where you will be able
Okay.
to like understand what we have done it here.
Good.
I think this is uploading here. You can see the work, the groundwork, what we have done. I wanted to show it in detail. Yes.
So while we wait for Ram to bring us up
I'm
with
not able
another
to upload
information.
it. 1 minute. I'm just sharing my screen instead of uploading it.
All right,
Yes.
all right, all right. So when it's ready, just let me know. Okay,
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think it's
I'm done.
coming up.
Can I share the screen? Yes.
Yes,
Is
you
my screen
can.
visible?
Yes, you can.
So
Yes,
as I said,
visible.
this index will give you an example. Here, these are the
Hmm.
states, right, from Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra. Here in India, we have more than like 26 states, where Garuda has traveled to all the states. In all the
Wow.
states, we have 30, 40 districts. So in the 30, 40 districts, we have lakhs of villages. So where we have traveled to all the places with our drones, with our team, and we have done this demonstration, and we have got the appreciation letter from the research institute.
Hmm.
Each and every villages our drones have flown. We have given the demonstration to the farmers. We have explained them. We have briefed them. We have made them understand this is going to be the future, because here in India we have manpower shortage is very very high.
Hmm. Hmm.
The next generation farmers are not into farming. Ultimately, we are this drone is only going to change it up. You can
Hmm.
see the groundwork what we have done. So this is new in India. No one like understands drone, or like no one like appreciates it until and unless they see the end result.
Mhm. Mhm.
So multiple demonstration, multiple presentation, multiple field works. And presently, what we are doing is this was done like 6 to 7 months back, and now we are doing this Visi Bharat Kanbal Yatra. Same like this. You can see the central minister's name and their ministry. Everyone are visiting, and these are the small, small. He is the minister for chemicals and fertilizer, Honorable Sri Manchuk Mandia. So you can see the farmers. You can see the people in all the villages. They're gathering up. So it's actually a festival here in India for next 60 days. So this technology is like reaching to the next level.
Hmm.
So government has taken a huge step. They are promoting it. They're helping with bringing more policies, rules, schemes, and from Garuda, we done the best from our end. We also have some competitors here, but we are the front runners, and we are running day in and day out. No, we are traveling all across to promote this technology. See the crowd everywhere in all the villages.
So
So,
is this festival
no, it's
a
actually a government event where government is promoting all the government schemes. In that event,
okay?
it is called Bharat Sankalp Yatra. In that, they have included drones also into it, and they wanted us to do a demonstration and a presentation in all the villages.
Okay. Okay. So now I understand. So it's actually already a government supported festival or event every year. Now with the promotion of drone technology is now included, in the whole grandeur, scheme of things. I mean, this is actually wonderful. It's actually wonderful. And I would like to actually ask, when did this government uh, openness, when did they start? Is there a time that it actually started? You know,
Yeah,
uh,
Yatra
yeah.
already started. It started on November 15th and it goes till Jan 26th. So this scheme, what I said, government they started a scheme for women self groups during our Republic Day on Jan 26th. Coming Jan 26th, our Honorable Prime Minister is going to give 1,500 drones to 1,500 women's self help groups.
Wow. Wow. So when did this, I can see that the government is totally in support. The government of India is totally in support of what drones can do, and they are actually bringing it into use and adoption by farmers, all the service providers, across sectors, particularly in agriculture. Now the question is, I want to date back, like when can you pinpoint to say, oh, this is actually the time that we saw government policy begin to change in favor of green technology in our landscape?
See, it was an era where there was no policy, There were many
Okay.
restrictions. There were many restrictions. So, if I could,
Mm.
I think last time I have also explained you here in India, we have three zones, which is called red zone, yellow zone, and green zone. So
Yes.
previously the drones was not allowed to fly everywhere, but government has taken a very good steps and they have
Hmm.
created a very good website which is called Digital Sky. So
A very
the
good website.
yes,
I need to get this. This is what I want to understand about the landscape in India. So the government got open up, and this is what is actually happening where I am. For a case like Nigeria, where it's uptight. The government is yet to come in power. In full support of the adoption or rapid adoption of the technology. And I would like to ask a question after this. So you mentioned that the government saw the impact that drone technology or potential of drone technology, and they began to address the policies or the regulations, in affecting the growth of the drone industry. So they created a website. What's the website all about? You know, yeah.
can I share the and show you and explain the website here?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
1 minute, it's loaded. One minute.
Guys, I am actually finding this very, very interesting because um, truly the rapid adoption of what is happening in India is actually so inspiring, and this is why I actually decided to actually bring uh, Ram on board, to actually explain to us. Let us have a perspective, an inner perspective, because I've been actually studying from outside and observing. And Ram is actually the vice president of Garuda, is actually the vice president of Garuda Aerospace, the most valuable drone technology startup in India. They are actually involved beyond drone service provision. They are actually involved with drone manufacturing. So, and I want him to actually take us to how this evolution started, how it is going, what is enabling this revolution or positive transformation with the use of drone technology. In a country like India, very similar to Nigeria. I mean, when I see Indians, I'm like, oh, these are Nigerians in another continent because their population, they're able to leverage on population. Nigeria too is also popular. We have tropical environments. They also have tropical environments, and many things that we have in similar. But what are they doing differently? And this is actually what we want to learn from them. So you're welcome back, Ram. You're mentioning about the. Okay, yes, I can see the screen now. I'm just going to put
Yes,
that on the. I'm going
yes.
to put that on the screen now. So yes.
This is the website I was like talking about. It's called Digital Sky. So Digital
Mm,
Sky, where you have the four major options, which is called issued UIN. UIN meaning unique identification number. Here in India, a drone should have UIN. Like every drone should have their own number, like a vehicle number. If you have a vehicle, two wheeler or four wheeler, you will have a registered number, right? Same
mm-hmm,
for drones, you will have UIN number. For
mm-hmm.
example, I'll type my company name, which is called Garuda. And if I click enter, you can see Garuda has 1,481 drones here.
Wow.
We have in small and medium category. Okay. So basically, the total drones here are one second. Yes, 15,921 drones are registered as on date.
Wow.
So
Under the name Garuda Erud.
can you come again?
Yeah, you said 15,921 drones.
The total drones. I'm not talking about
Yes.
Garuda. The total drones. And
Okay. Okay.
if you take Garuda alone, like we have
Okay.
1,480. So
Hmm.
all are like Garuda Aerospace. If you put enter details, like we have 1474. All are Garuda Aerospace
Okay.
Private Limited.
Hmm.
All these are our drones. And if I'm selling a drone to someone, I should register the drone into their name. For example, I'll type our model name, which is called GAAD. GAAD is one of our model of a drone where the model is Garuda, but we would have given to some other person. The owner should not be Garuda. Okay. The end
Yeah.
user.
Hmm.
So we have to register to them by using the form as I specified
Yes.
earlier. And if you go into the training, you can see the RPTOs, which is called Remote Pilot Training Organization. There are 80
Yes.
institutes where they teach and they give the license to fly. The license is called a certificate here, Remote Pilot
Mm-hmm.
Certificate. So these 80 institute here, we have our own flying school as well, which is called Garuda Aerospace. And I myself am an instructor. We teach and we give them the license to fly. So because it's mandatory here. So only when you learn and you get the license, the amount of crashes or the safety will be more, because we have a specific syllabus here. So it's a 7 to 10 days course where they have to come here. They have to learn all the rules, where they have undergo a Viva written exam and open flying and a stimulator as well.
Hmm.
And you can see the number of remote pilots. 8722 official pilots are with us in India. And the name, the gender, the number, this is the license number, certificate number, and the
Hmm.
institute where they got trained. Here, if I put Garuda, I think we have trained more than 500. 524. So we should do
Wow.
524
Hmm.
from our RPTU. So this is again certified, and these are the companies who organization who has got type certificate for the model for commercial operations. Without type
Hmm.
certificate, you can't sell your drones. We have two
Hmm.
types of certificate, as I said, one for the small category, the other one for the medium category.
Hmm.
So this website is like it's open, where you can get all the details and you can learn and you can follow the rules. Specific form, as I said, D1 is for applying type certificate, form D2 is for unique identification number to apply. For example, I have purchased a drone from Garuda or not from Garuda. Like, yes, I need to apply form D3 to get my number. From Garuda, we need to do form D2.
Hmm.
So all are like simple procedure, but mandatory they need to follow. Like
Hmm.
register, they're making everything into a structure. Previously, it was not like structurized. Once you
Hmm.
make a structure like this, automatically you'll get into a clarity, and you'll be able to take it to the next level.
Yes. Okay. So you've been able to allow us to see that Indians, apart from the government um, having a liberal policy, in drone regulation, opening it up, and they were able to create a structured registration system for aircraft, for remote pilots, and also training organizations that can actually train registered pilots. And also, I think you've not mentioned about manufacturing, the aspect of manufacturing. We would like to hear about manufacturing. Yeah.
Manufacturing something, if I make a drone, or like if I buy a parts or like somewhere and I assemble a drone, and if I'm gonna use it for a commercial purpose, like I'm gonna sell it, or I'm gonna like take a project and execute it, when you go commercially, the drone has to have a certificate called type certificate.
Type certificate. Okay.
Yes, type certificate is mandatory. Only then you'll be allowed to sell or allowed to do any commercial operations. So this type
Okay.
certificate it's a lengthy process where very less organization has got so far. The many organizations that are into it and they are gonna get it. So type certificate is like testing the entire drone, the endurance, the stability. There are many testing that has to be done. Report has to be like from the NBA aggregated labs, and then audit will be audit will be done by the government agencies, and on spot they'll ask us to do like they'll verify all our facility, our reports, and they'll ask us to fly and show the drone, and in terms of like the range of the drone. If I'm applying my drone for a 2 kilometer range, I need to show them a live demonstration where my drone flies for 2 kilometer, and
Mm.
I'm applying in the form saying that my drone is for 19 minutes. I need to fly my drone for 90 minutes. Whatever I apply in the form, I need to practically show them and prove them. Only then they'll give the certificate which I already showed you, the type
Okay.
certificate.
So the type certificate is on the aircraft or
So if I am a remote pilot, so I need to be trained on the type certificate that I want to get. For example, you mentioned nano, micro, small, this kind of classes.
Yes,
Are
yes,
those
yes.
the class of the type certificate?
No, if I'm a pilot, if I'm having a license, flying certificate, I can buy a drone which is type certificate already. Say suppose I have undergone in any, out of 80 institute which is giving certificate, I may go into any institute and I may get a certificate which is like flying certificate. And if my certificate is a small category, I can buy any small category drones and I can fly, and that too in a
Okay.
green zones.
Okay. As far as you are in the green zone, you can fly.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
this
Since you
website
are,
you mentioned, which this website you also showed to us, actually has that portal to show to us the green zone, and you also mentioned an application, a mobile application, where you need to actually apply to before you fly. So that application shows us if we are actually in a safe zone or not, right?
yes, we have an application, like it's not an application, same like Digital Sky. We have a platform called Digital Sky Aerospace.com, which is called Digital Sky Aerospace.com. I think I can
Okay.
present it again to show you. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, it's coming up now.
This is a map of India. Okay. So if I'm gonna fly in one of the institute, wherever I'm gonna fly, I'm giving you an example. Okay, wherever I'm gonna fly, if I just enter that area, it will show me which zone it is. See, it is in green zone, so it is in green. Okay,
Hmm.
this area, whatever it is covered, it is green. I'll show you. This will be in red. This is red.
Okay.
Restricted area, because here we have parliament, prime minister, office, and many things.
Hmm.
And again we have outer yellow zone, inner yellow zone, and such. This website, wherever you're going to fly today, if you're going to fly an operation, and that area, that address, you need to enter here. Simple. It's as simple as it is. And if you click enter, it will show you which zone you are. 80 to 90% it is green zone.
Okay.
10% is where you have government buildings, government office, or any research labs are there, or any places where it's like where you have a nearby airport, you know private,
Airports. Hmm.
yes. So those areas, it will be indicating it as red zones and yellow zones depending on the kilometer
Hmm.
you're far from it. And also we
Hmm.
have temporary red zones. Temporary red zones meaning it will be a green zone tomorrow if a government event is going to happen there, or a chief minister or prime minister or someone like who is going to come up in that area, that will be marked as temporary red zone.
Hmm.
It may
Hmm.
be valid for 96 hours.
Okay. Okay. So what is also the government doing to support drone manufacturers?
So as I said, previously they came up with some PLI schemes where they are giving grant for the companies who has performed very well, and now they've made the policy. They're giving up subsidy. So we are a company who have like many types of drones. We are not only into agri drones, and we are very strong in agri drones. Since we focus more into the agriculture drones and the survey drones, so here in India, government for specifically for agriculture drones, they are coming up with many schemes. Like as I said, they're getting um, grant for the farmers, for agri entrepreneurs and village entrepreneurs. Now they're coming up with women schemes. So likewise, it is helping everyone. And also we have a specific scheme for loan, where is a specific website called AIF, which is Agriculture Infrastructure Fund. In that, everyone is eligible to get loan very easily without any collateral document, and they get 3% interest subsidy.
Hmm.
If I have a flying certificate, I will be able to get that in 4 to 5 days.
Wow.
So they are very fast and they are very aggressive in this. And the interest rate is again surprising. It will be around 5 to 6%.
Hey. If I would actually had been able to see some of your government acts in actually promoting the drone technology from, if I would classify, I would say enabling policies and liberal drone regulation. You know, you mentioned I can just walk into an RPPO, office and say, I want to get trained and get registered. That opportunity is actually put forward by the government, but that's the DGCA, if I'm right. So the government agencies in charge of the aviation industry. Now, and you've also mentioned to us that the government is also supporting in financial products like grants, uh, subsidies, subsidies to manufacturers, or grants to manufacturers, grants to farmers, grants to entrepreneurs, grants to women, especially, which you mentioned. Is it called Drone DD? All right.
Don't need.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, Drone DD. I mean, to women, I mean, that's actually surprising. And I heard you say 15,000 or 1,500.
15,000. 15,000.
15,000. Oh my God. Oh my God. So who's gonna be making that money? who is the government paying that money? By the way, but that's quite interesting. And loan. You also mentioned loan about on and a fund called Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, and
Yes, we
and
have a
it has
specific
loan.
website for that as well. There's a specific website where a farmer or someone who wants to get a loan not only for drones. That's a website
Hmm.
like which is applicable for many product. In that they have included drone as well. So previously drone was not there, so they included drone into the scheme and they added value to that scheme. So anyone,
Mm.
see what we suggest to someone who can't buy drone by spending upfront, we are not asking them to go to the bank straight away and get apply for a loan. Instead, we are
Mm.
telling them, if you are not able to spend money upfront, we are there to support. There's a scheme, and we are doing the end-to-end help for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Mm-hmm.
need not go to bank and like verify and get everything. We support them with the scheme for loans, and we make them like their work will be reduced drastically. And since again it doesn't require any collateral, so that is again a big thing. Without any collateral, only if the civil is good, they're giving the grant loan.
Mm. Mm. Okay, so I want to ask, what are the roles of educational institutions and okay, I'll put it together. Educational institutions and research organizations or institutions playing to actually promote, preparing professionals for career in drone sector in India. Yeah, what can you say about that? We've been talking about the government, but what are the roles of educational institutions, universities, and research organizations in promoting drone technology in this whole scheme? Yeah.
This is a very good question. Here in India, the trend has set for the drones. So many of the agriculture institutions and engineering institutions, they are adding drones into their syllabus. They made
Hmm.
it as mandatory. So what from Garuda we are doing is we are having a good partnership. We are coming up with a good partnership, like establishing center of excellence.
Hmm.
We will set a specific lab for drones in every colleges,
Hmm.
and we will give them the drones and we'll give them the stimulators. They'll get hands-on experience in like assembling a toy drone or a small drone, and like experiencing in the stimulator and then the
Mm-hmm.
real flight.
Hmm. Hmm.
Many institutions are made mandatory by including drones into the syllabus. That is how like the things are changing here, and everyone is loving the subject and they're learning it and they're moving their career into drones nowadays.
Hmm. Hmm. That's amazing. So, what about research institutions? I like what you mentioned about center of excellence. With drone technology. What about research institutions? What are they doing?
See, research institutions that are already into the next level, meaning they are not doing more into agri, they are into defense. They
Oh,
are
defense.
always into the future. So they are working specifically, and we Garuda, we have also had a very good partnership with Lockheed Martins, and we are also into defense, and we are also coming up with many UAVs in the coming days.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Um, I I mean I have several questions, some of which you've actually answered. You've actually shared with us regulatory frameworks that governs the use of drones in India and how government is actually facilitating integration of drones in different industries, particularly. And I would like to ask. I would like to ask. I've heard of this ambitious statement that Indian. I think by the Prime Minister, uh, he said he wants India to be a drone powerhouse by I think by year 2030. I mean, I want you to talk about that. Maybe I'm not hearing very well. I would like to hear about that from you and kind of give us some light
See,
about
we
that thing.
Indians like will not step into any domain. So once we step in, we will work harder to be the number one. So
Hmm.
these days, we are not into drones, and there were many countries who were into drones and they were doing. This is the stage where we are stepped in, and we are more focused. There are many organizations they are working very hard to have an indigenous of make in India, made in India. So you can see the changes in next 5 years.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, from the trajectory of things and the acceleration, the rate of progress that I'm seeing, I would not actually put a doubt to that statement because that actually reminds me. what's the policy around importation of drones into India? What's the policy like? Maybe from China, maybe from some other countries. What's the policy like?
No, I don't think so. Like other many countries, they don't have their own laws and rules. I'm not sure whether like many countries has, and if you could go through the 55 rules, that is are like very basic, mandatory, and which should be followed. They made it a statement like they worked a lot on this 55 laws. So the rules, if you could go to like look into it in deep, you can understand what they're trying to do and what they're going to come up. So to my knowledge, I've not seen many countries or like not heard about these things there. And when you compare or when you see things, you can know about it.
So my question. Let me rephrase my question. Is there any is there uh, is there any policy that supports or that is against importation, like bringing drones into India, importing drones from another country into your country? As you're actually talking about manufacturing and all that, is there any policy that supports that or negates that?
Hey, now for research institute, it's still allowed. We are in the learning form. For our R&D purpose and such. We are testing it and we are learning out of it, and we are coming with our own solutions. It's for R&D. It is allowed for testing, for
Oh,
learning,
okay.
for the prototype. For research and development, it is there. And
Okay. Okay.
we started, many of our companies in India, they have their own indigenous. So
Hmm.
only when you learn, you can come up with your own solution or with your own design and everything.
Okay. Okay. So how do people? Is there any? You mentioned sometimes ago about SOPs, that's a standard of operating procedures, particularly for agriculture. Um, what are there trainings particularly tailored for agriculture, spraying? In India, how is drone technology being used, particularly for agriculture, and how is that changing the game?
See, as I said, since like categorizing the drone into 5 categories, that will simplify and that will make them learn accordingly. So when you move to the small category, you will be learning more than the videography drones. See, videography drone will hardly be into nano and small category, or this toy drones or the photography videography. When the weight increases,
Hmm.
the mechanization inside into it will be much wider.
Yes.
So this agricultural drone is totally different. It has multiple options or multiple ways to learn. It has, so likewise the large category what we have is more than 150. So when we come up with the drones with 150 kgs, so you can see what it is capable of and what it is going to do.
Okay. 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 Thank you so much. And what's the business like? What's the business landscape like? I think this will be my last question. For someone interested in agricultural drones and get an agriculture, what's the business like? What's the business case like for an agricultural drone?
So here in India, the farmers are earning a lot with these drones. I have many farmers who are earning a very good amount every month. So this agriculture drone, what we are making is capable of spraying 20 to 30 acres a day. So
Hmm.
the medium category drone, what we came up with, it is capable of spraying 30 acres a day max. It depends on the climate and the traveling
Mm-hmm,
time between
mm-hmm,
one
mm-hmm.
crops to the other. So the
Hmm.
batteries what we use is also much higher. The batteries is 25,000 mAh and it sprays 3 to 4 acres in a stretch. 3 to 4 acres. So 1 acre hardly it covers 7 minutes, and the ROI of the farmers who invested in agriculture drone is less than 6 months. Some farmers
Hmm.
they get in 2 months. It depends. If you work 20 days in a month or a 30 days in a month, every day you do minimum 10 acres, and in 20 days, you'll be able to earn 1 lakh. because here in India they charge acre basis or a hectare basis, not on the time basis. So this
Okay.
drone is capable of spraying 1 acre in 7 minutes. So every hour you can calculate how many acres he can cover, and if he does 10 acres a day, and if he works only for 20 days in a month, he is earning in lakhs.
Hmm. So what's the unit price of of an acre? If I'm going to be spraying an acre and I'm
So
actually spraying 20
it
acres.
again it again varies from crop to crop and cycle to
Okay. Yes.
cycle.
Yes. Yes.
So it
Yes.
average it starts from 500 to 1,200 in Indian rupees.
Okay.
Hmm.
And again it
Oh,
depends on the order size.
Yeah.
on the other side, what do you mean by that?
If someone is giving me 100 acres or 1,000 acres,
Oh, yes.
sometimes that will change a lot,
Yeah, yeah, to change the pricing. That's true. That's true. I mean, I would charge relatively lesser somebody giving me a larger space,
Correct.
than a small amount. Of course, these are actually some of the things that I understand as service provider also here in Nigeria. Uh, and you also mentioned that in 6 months, a young entrepreneur providing drone services is able to actually make some money back
Right.
working 20 days in a month.
See, basically the drone will not be operational in all 365 days.
Yes,
So
yes.
minimum to minimum it will be operational for 200 days.
Mm, mm,
You can calculate, we have done a cost benefit analysis and we have made it live, and it became true. There are many farmers who is very happy, who is owning our drones and earning a very good amount, and they are serving the entire community there.
Mm, mm. Amazing. Thank you so much, Ram. I mean, this is actually a very interesting section, and also an amazing and enlightening one for me personally. And I believe so. Some of our viewers, or all of our viewers, have actually been able to enjoy and actually see light into what is actually happening in the drone industry in India. What role the government is actually playing to actually transform the Indian industry, drone industry, through liberal regulation and regulatory, a proper and well-planned regulatory framework, financial support in grants, subsidies, and loans, to farmers, to manufacturers, and agripreneurs, or entrepreneurs who are actually using drone technology. And thank you so much, for sharing with us today. And also, you shared with us, some basic regulations, the procedures, and all of these details. But I will not actually go without asking this question. We've actually been saying a lot of good stuff. What are the challenges presently? What are you working? What do you think that the government should be working on now? What are the challenges that you still encounter presently? I know it will not be all too good, of course. So let's also know about
See, the challenges, we don't face much challenges is because to make a farmer believe that this technology is going to help them, they will not understand, because I'll say for 1 acre it requires only one tank, meaning 10 liters. So
it.
what they have done, like these many days or these many years, they've been doing like 250 liters or 10 tanks, or like with the drums they used to spray with the hand sprayers. So taking up in hand sprayers, and they're doing it for so many years and they're experiencing it, and all of a sudden if I say this drone is going to save your water by 75%, and it's going to cover the same operation in 7 minutes which you're doing for 2 to 3 hours, they're clueless, they're not understanding, or
Mm,
they'll not understand until and unless I
mm,
show them the live result. To be
mm,
frank,
mm.
I have been more happy and satisfied when someone calls me and says that I've seen the result, the pest has
mm,
got down, the yield has increased a lot, because the drone
mm-hmm,
covers the even speed, top to bottom. If I wanted to do an
mm,
hand spray, I have to walk on the field. I'll be having the crop wastage. Second thing is certain crops will require certain hazardous chemicals where I have to breathe in and breathe out when I'm spraying.
Mhm, mhm.
have to like, wait for the manpower. So these are the very difficulties which farmers are facing for many years. And when I
Hmm.
say them, this is going to replace all these things. This actually became the best friend of farmers in India now. Farmers are
Hmm.
loving drones. They are seeing it as the new friend or the best friend or the helping friend on time, because the
Hmm.
crop waste in India is very high because of not spraying on time. The best attack is high. So this drone is helping them a lot. I'm
Hmm.
personally happy and I'm continue being in this profession is because every day I used to get calls from many farmers. They share
Hmm.
their experience on their day-to-day thing and they appreciate us. Sometimes they used to call and they used to like we had like good conversation, bad conversations, happy meeting up, and struggles are there. But
Mm-hmm.
ultimately 80% of the farmers, they used to call me and they used to like appreciate us, that makes us more satisfying than everything.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, that's also still inspiring. Despite the challenges, this is not actually unique to the India landscape. I could also testify from that.
Yes.
The farmer will not actually believe you because you say this, something too good to be true. But you have to come to the field and test it out. Both big and small farmers alike, because it's just that way. It's just the way the farmer thinks. It's the way we understand how things work. We don't. It doesn't work on paper. It has to work on the field. We have to see the result. What's the cost benefit, ratio, and all of this. Thank you so much, Ram. We actually appreciate the time or sharing about the drone industry from the Indian landscape, Indian perspective. What is happening? Government engagement. Uh, Stakeholders like Garuda and what you're actually doing with farmers, and also how farmers are actually adopting this technology and structures in place to ensure the smooth proliferation of this technology. So we want to say a very big thank you for joining us today. And at this point, we're wrapping up the webinar. So we want to say thank you to all of our viewers who have actually joined us to actually learn one or two things. And I just hope that we can be able to learn one or two things here if you are actually engaged with the government, policy maker. You are actually a stakeholder. It's not time to actually complain. It's time to actually begin to act. Time to actually begin to influence policy, to actually engage with the government, to actually engage with stakeholders, with farmers, and also with the government, with financial service providers, to see how we can actually accelerate the adoption of this amazing technology to transform our agricultural system and every other industry that is actually in need of this technology. So it's time for us to act, not for us to complain, but for us to know the solution, actually provide the solution and walk the talk. So thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you.